Lesson 5, Unit 2. Knowledge Management Process Cycle. This unit will present the 4 phases of the knowledge management cycle. The knowledge management cycle consists of 4 phases: the creation of knowledge, the capturing of knowledge, the transfer of knowledge, and the reuse of knowledge. Before describing in detail the process phases, it is important to clarify that there are 2 types of knowledge: tacit knowledge and explicit knowledge. Tacit knowledge is the personal and context-specific knowledge. It is difficult to formalize, record, or articulate. It is stored in the memory of the people. Such knowledge is developed through trial and error and is developed with experience. Explicit knowledge is the type of knowledge that can be codified and transmitted in a systematic and formal language, for example, in documents and databases. The first phase of the cycle is the creation of knowledge. Knowledge is created in many forms: by taking a course, by reading, or by personal experience. This type of knowledge is called tacit knowledge. New knowledge comes largely from the experiences of the people working in a project. Knowledge is created when people determine new ways of doing things or develop a new know-how. In a project environment, knowledge is created by personal experience during the project. For example, a project manager learned that by including more participation from stakeholders and beneficiaries in the decision-making process, they were more willing to participate and actively contribute to the success of the project. This new experience is a new knowledge that the project manager created. The second phase is capturing knowledge. The knowledge that is created needs to be stored in a format that will allow its organization. The codification of knowledge helps in making the knowledgeable understandable and which can be used in the future. This is the process of translating tacit knowledge into explicit knowledge. This type of knowledge can be codified and transmitted in a systematic and formal language. Once a project manager has identified a new knowledge, he can capture it by writing his experience in a document or an online database. The process will include additional information that helps explain the context so that it can be actionable by other people that want to use it. For example, the project manager documented his experience in the organization's knowledge management system, including information on how to use this knowledge, the context where it happened, the benefits, and any additional information that will help retrieve it and use by other project staff. The next phase is knowledge transfer. This is the action to make the new knowledge available to other people in the organization. It is important that knowledge must be made available in a useful format to anyone in the organization who needs it anywhere and anytime. An organization might decide if the knowledge can also be made available to people outside the organization. Transfer of this knowledge can be done by either finding for specific keywords or by receiving updates from the system based on a specific interest. Other project managers from the organization or even partners can access the knowledge management system and retrieve the new knowledge. For example, a new project manager searches for the documents and finds it interesting and relevant to the problem she's facing in her project. Using the information of the system, she decides to call the project manager to hold a meeting and get additional insights on how to use this knowledge. The last phase of the process is using knowledge. Use is the application of the new knowledge in a new context, which will create a new experience. It is the conversion of explicit knowledge into tacit knowledge. This process will include some additional adaptation of the knowledge to the new context. In the example, the project manager, using the information on the process to include participation in the decision-making process, uses the approach in her project. She makes some changes to adapt the knowledge to the context of her project. For example, she changes the type of communication and explains in more detail the purpose of inclusion in the decision-making process. She monitors the change and notices the improvement in participation and commitment by key stakeholders and project beneficiaries. This is a new experience that she decides to document and add to the new knowledge management system. The process is continuous. There is no end and should happen at any time. There is no need for a project manager to wait for the end of the project to capture the knowledge he experienced during the life of the project. The best approach is to capture knowledge as soon as it happens. The organization should include steps to maintaining the knowledge database on a regular basis to ensure it is relevant to the needs of the organization. This can include incorporation of feedback, improvements to the systems to facilitate the capturing, storing, and retrieving of knowledge.